Live.
Holy Emmanuel, I, Selassie, I, Jah, Rastafari, give thanks for life and a mighty life giver. Give thanks to him for all blessings, even going to the earth on this African Liberation Day, 60th anniversary, of the formation of the OAU. Give thanks to the African Liberation Network for hosting such. Give thanks to even all ones gathered in the chat room. Give thanks to all ones even viewing this live on the YouTube channel. And give thanks to all ones, even throughout the earth, Most High, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. At this time, I will open, with a short prayer and reading a psalm. And we're reading from Psalm number 7. Glory be unto the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy One of creation. As Jah was in the beginning, is now and never shall be, the world without end. Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Lord my God, continue on reading from Psalm number 7. Lord my God, I take refuge in you. Save and deliver me from all who persecute me. They will tear me apart like a lion and rip me in pieces with no one to rescue me. Lord my God, if I have done this and there is no guilt on my hands, if I have repaid my allies with evil or without cause, have robbed my for then let my enemies pursue me and overtake me. Let them trample my life to the ground and make me sleep in the dust. Arise, Lord, in thine anger, rise up against the rage of my enemies. Awake, my God, discreet my justice. Let the assembled people gather around you while you sit enthroned over them on high. Let the Lord judge the people. Vindicate me, Lord, according to my righteousness, according to my integrity, O Most High, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Bring to an end the violence of the wicked and make the righteous secure. You, the righteous, God, who probes minds and hearts. My shield is God Most High, who saves the upright in heart. God is a righteous judge, and God who displays with wrath every day. If he does not relent, he will sharpen his sword. He will bend his strings, his bows. He had prepared his deadly weapons. He make ready his flaming arrows. Whoever is pregnant with evil conceive trouble and give birth to disillusionment. Whoever digs a hole and scoops it out falls into the pit they made. The troubles they cause recoil on them. Their violence come down on their own heads. I will give thanks to the Lord because of his righteousness. I will sing praise to his name, to the name of the Lord Most High, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Repeating the final and ending verse of Psalms number 7, verse 17. I will give thanks to the Lord because of his righteousness. I will sing praise to the name of the Lord, King Emmanuel 7, Adonai, Jah, Rastafari. My Lord and Empress, we do give thanks. Yes, Empress, I give thanks to you for yet another blessed day. Give thanks to you for being down setting at this hour. Give thanks to you for all the psalms that have been read. And at this time, I shall turn over the floor to the Honorable Prophet Clarky, my Lord and Empress. Blessed love, give thanks.
Blessed love, give thanks, my Lord.
And blessed love to each and every one scattered to the four ends of the earth. Give thanks for such moment again. And I give thanks for the African Liberation Network and on all the panels on it, all the visitors, royalties near and far. And give thanks for the Honorable host and presenter, Daniel. I give thanks to the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, Church of Salvation, Give thanks to the Women Freedom Liberation League, founded by our President God and King, give thanks unto this blessed moment. Really. For the Most High, Selassie, Sure, that's the far right. So at this moment, just come here to share a moment, to bring forth, our liberators, in the fight of freedom, you know, from ancient time to this time. We get thanks to this time coming up here, which is, you know, 25th of May, Organization of African Unity, you know. So at this time we come to educate and, just bring forth joy and love to the royal family, my lord and all empress, prince and princess. Do hand over the floor to royal empress Lily May to bring forth ahead, my lord and
Let's love one and all. Welcome, Honorable Prophet Benton. Give thanks to the high presence. I am going to open with the opening hymn 574 from the Sacred Songs and Solo. I would not need anyone to track this hymn for me. And the hymn is Thou My Ever Living Portion. Emmanuel, I Selassie, Jah Rastafari. Thou my ever living portion, more than friend or life to me. For I say all along my pilgrim journey, for I say, Savior, let me walk with thee. For I say, close to thee, Lord, close to thee. For I say, close to thee, Lord, close to thee. For I say, all along my pilgrim journey. For I say, Savior, let me walk with thee. Not for ease or worldly pleasure. For I say no, for fame my prayer shall be. For I say gladly will I toil and suffer. For I say only let me walk with thee. For I say close to thee, Lord, close to thee. For I say close to thee, Lord, close to thee. For I say all along my pilgrim journey. For I say, Savior, let me walk with thee. Lead me through the veil of shadow. For I say, bear me over life's fitful sea. For I say, then the gate of life eternal. For I say, may I enter, Lord, with thee. For I say, close to thee, Lord, close to thee. For I say, close to thee, Lord, close to thee. For I say, then the gate of life eternal. For I say, Savior, may I enter, Lord, with thee. Goddess, I, 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 I. I, 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 I. But I say, I, I, thou, my ever living portion. But I say more than friend or life to me. But I say all along my pilgrim journey. But I say, yeah, let me walk with thee. But I say close to thee, Lord, close to thee. But I say close to thee, Lord, close to thee. What I say all along my pilgrim journey. What I say, yeah, let me walk with thee. Not for ease or worldly pleasure. For I say no, for fame my prayer shall be. For I say gladly will I toil and suffer. For I say only let me walk with thee. For I say close to thee, Lord, close to thee. But I say close to thee, Lord, close to thee. But I say gladly will I toil and suffer. For I say only let me walk with thee. Chorus humming. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Close to thee, Lord, close to thee. Close to thee, Lord, close to thee. But I say close to thee, Lord, close to thee. But I say gladly will I toil and suffer. Oh, they let me walk with thee. Lead me through the veil of shadows coming down. Lead me through the veil of shadow. But I say, bear me over life's fitful sea. For I say, then the gate of life eternal. For I say, may I enter, Lord, with thee. Coming down close to thee, Lord, close to thee. For I say, close to thee, Lord, close to thee. For I say, then the gate of life eternal. May I enter, Lord, with thee. That in the holy mount Zion, on Zion, Zion high. Lord, holy mount Zion, Zion. But Emmanuel, I, Selassie, I, Jah, Rastafari, thou my ever-living portion, more than friend or life to me. Gladly will I toil and suffer, Savior, thus that I and I, thy children, walk with thee. Happy Liberation Day to one and all. Most High, Holy Emmanuel, I, Selassie, I, Jah, Rastafari. Most High, Prophet John Marcus, Mosiah, Garvey, I, and Empress Amy Jakes, Garvey, I. Happy Liberation Day to the liberators. Most High, Holy Emmanuel, I, Selassie, I, Jah, Rastafari. Most High, Emperor Haile Selassie and Empress Menonai, Father and Mother of Creation, the Alpha and Omega. Give thanks for each and every one on this Zoom meeting and those who are listening to YouTube. May the Lord bless you and keep you and strengthen you all in this pilgrim journey, because it's a hard road to travel and a mighty long way to go. Give thanks for all who presenting this day. May just strengthen us that we do his work par excellence, like the Black Tiger said. And I give thanks for each and every one who's here and who's not here. Give thanks for my headquarters. Give thanks for all the branches from the first branch, which is Trinidad, and they are well represented on this panel. Give thanks for Ali from Bahamas, the lone one who's listening in, and give thanks and praises for the host, the mighty and loyal, faithful host. And I was saying that, you know, I call this celebration because I am an empress that never got a lot of celebrations, because I usually do my 21 days. So every celebration that I am now free as an elder, I try to do something to show the glory of the Lord, you know, and give thanks for our worthy founder, dear President God and King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, and all liberators, ancestors, and all who is here now as Marcus Mosiah Garvey Cubs. Because he said, I, Marcus Garvey, may go, but his cubs will live on, and give thanks, ionize his cubs, you know, and give thanks for Honorable Prophet Benton, you know, a Garveyite, a staunch Garveyite, you know. His presence is very valued, and every presence is valued. And I give thanks and glorify for this blessed moment. So this is my introduction now. So I won't be introducing when I saying my Black Cross nurses, as I understand that I have taken a lot of time. So honorable host and co-host, Honorable Prophet Clark, we'll take it over to the first presenter, which is Honorable Prophet Sikh, talking about the UNIA. And Honorable Priest Jermaine will be talking about the EABIC, and the Honorable co-host, will be talking about the AOU, and then I will be on again and give thanks and glorify. I don't know if Empress Felicia is on, but Empress Miriam, our elder, she is not feeling well, so please pray for her. And Empress Felicia, she was asking you if you could speak on the Women's Freedom Liberation League, because she was supposed to speak on that slot, but she's not feeling well. If not, I will fill in. So give thanks and glorify for each and every one. Heart of love from Ethiopia, the land of the brave. And maybe just sing praises ceaselessly to our God and King. Most High, Holy Emmanuel, I, Selassie, I, Jah, Rastafari, host and co-host. The floor is your own. Give thanks and glorify.
Oh, give thanks to the royal goddess, our family. So, as the royal empress say, and I do hand over the floor to Honorable Jati, my lord and empress. Okay.
Holy Emmanuel, I, Selassie, I, Jah, Rastafari. Do give thanks for the momentary reason, you know, as the Black Christ teach us, when one or two are gathered in his holy name, he's in the midst, you know. So we do give thanks for this moment and time, you know, the 60th anniversary of the OAU moving through, you know, 4 wings of earth, you know, for all Black man universally, you know. Give thanks for the John Marcus Messiah Garvey. As you know, he was a burning and shining light, and we are willing for a season to rejoice in his light, you know. St. John chapter 5, verse 35, you know. The greatest prophet ever born of a woman, John Marcus Messiah Garvey. As you come and know, you know, highest esteem unto the prophet same way, you know. We give thanks for the moment of liberation same way. You know, liberation, you know, for the black nation of people. The release from servitude or unjust rule, to release from restraint or inhabitation, quotations, So we give thanks for the man who come to awake the black nation same way, John Garvey, Yeah, man, because we come and see in that era gone by there, they give we emancipation from 1834 to 1838. It never worked for me. We still end up in slavery, collecting petty wages, so we works on these things, It never sent me back home to Africa, even though 20 million pounds was laid down for I to receive to go back home. We never received the money, So we come and see, they will come and give we independence. It never worked same way. But after emancipation, now we come and see it was terrible upon the black race, and we come and see the liberator come and born, John Garvey, 17th of August, 1887. The prophet reincarnated on earth same way. And the man come to do our job, The man come to fulfill the book of Revelation, Things which will shortly come to pass. So we give thanks for the prophet who was born in the Western world, in Jamaica, as we come and learn in the island of Patmos. The man come and born, and the man come and see the oppression against black people. 4 wings of earth. Anywhere you go, it is same oppression. Black man working with petty wages, cutting grass to less than a penny. All these oppression we are still going through back in the era the same way. Early 1900s coming up. So the man sees upon himself to form the UNIA, Universal Negro Improvement Association, and his league. The man come and form the organization for black people to redeem us, the Black House of Israel, The man even, when he formed the organization in Jamaica, he leave and went to America. It's a portion of black so-called, I would say, leaders in America, same way, who Marcus went to when he reached America, he showed them about the aims and objectives we coming with, and they gave no support. He even went to W.E.D. Boys, and get no support. So, as the man say, if no one is to do it, Garvey do it still, and come and establish UNIA in America same way. In 18 months' time, my lord, the thing get a real big miler. Many followers, 4 wings of earth same way. Many branches in many countries, 4 wings of earth. The man said, awake black people, The same voice cried out in the wilderness. As we come and learn, the same said John Garvey. When he came, he was mighty. He came with the water. Many was following him. But we know there's one who come after him same way, who was greater than him as he declared. John Marcus declared, the one who come after him was greater than him, which is the Black Christ, So when John Marcus Garvey, come in that era there, was a mighty God in my Lord, John Marcus Garvey, the awake now. Even point we to be true leader, which will be 10 miles out of the bloody city of Kingston. We come and see the R-man, the holy one, the righteous one, which is King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, the first anointed teacher, Melchizedek, Hebrews chapter 7, the Black Christ, the true leader. So we give thanks for the man, who still look to the east, for the crown of the Black King, the liberator. He come and teach about the Black God. The man come with equality and justice for one and all. What good for the white man, for the Chinese, for the Indian, and good for the black man same way. So, we see the God through the black spectacles. If the white man see Jesus in that way, the Chinese see Buddha, Indian see Krishna or Lakshmi, but we black people, we see the imperial majesty as the father of creation, As John teach, you look to the east, taken for your God and King. Garvey, the liberator, same way, the great pioneer, we give thanks to the man, same way, the UNIA. The man come to awaken we, to lead we unto Christ. The man come, this is a biblical prophecy fulfilling the last days, same way too, as Christ teach we, the time of Christ and Moses and Pharaoh. This is the time of Moses and Pharaoh, and black man was in Egypt here, and they don't want to send me home. They don't want to free us to go to the promised land same way, to the east. But just say, if it's lightning, earthquake, thunder, even judgment my man hand, we must be free, They couldn't hold me for all time, but they can hold me for a moment still, So we give thanks, for the liberator, same way, the 60th anniversary of the liberation they're moving through, 25th of May, 1963, His Imperial Majesty and enough great leaders come and form the OAU, Yeah, man. Enough aims, Marcus bring forth same way, to establish a universal confraternity among the race, to prompt the spirit and pride and love, to redeem the fallen among the race, to administer and assist to the needy, to assist in civilizing the backward tribes in Africa, to assist in the development of independent African nations and communities, to establish commissionaries or agencies in the principal countries and cities of the world for the representation and protection of all Africans, irrespective of nationality, to promote a consensus spiritual worship among the native tribes of Africa, to establish universities, colleges, academies, and schools for the racial education and culture of the people, black teaching blacks, to conduct a worldwide commercial and industrial intercourse for the good of the people, to work for better conditions to all African communities. So no race is free at Marcus teach we unless it has a strong nation of its own. And we give thanks for the man who bring division, of the African empire, which will never go back to sleep. As Marcus teach we, Africa for the Africans, those at home and us abroad, So we do give thanks, to be on the R side in these last days, Give thanks to be on the R side. As the man teach we, return to power. So we give thanks, man, to start with the R man and the R prophet, Yeah, man, the man will never disagree. We do give thanks to the man, them, And the UNIA now, my Lord and Empress, and all hearers, we do give thanks, The UNIA Association was the only movement among Africans in them era day that was striking fear in the breasts of the nations of the world. And there's no secret in them time day. Everybody know, from Washington to Downing Street. Everyone they know the power of Marcus Garvey moving through in them time day. Everyone they know that, Even the great empire of Britain and all was shaking in his shoes, my Lord and Empress. Britain get frightened. It was the only movement that has caused the Great Britain Empire to be trembling in its shoes was the UNIA in them eras there. Because they see like black man they cannot get free. Pharaoh don't want free. So they get frightened. They bring sabotage, they impede traitors, nothing to do, my Lord. You come and see them deport Marcus Garvey same way. But they couldn't stop it because, enough other Marcus in the fall same way. So we do give thanks for the momentary reason, We do give thanks for all the elders on the platform. We do give thanks, for the Black Christ. We do give thanks, for the prophet. And we give thanks for the Imperial Majesty. The 1 and 3 and the 3 and 1. So high you can get over, so low you can go under, so wide you can go around. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. So my Lord and Empress, I'll hand over the floor for a moment to any other angel to reason, my Lord and Empress. Blessed love.
Blessed love, my Lord. Honor Prophet Clark, Priest Jermaine, supposed to be next. The EABIC.
We give thanks, my Lord and all royalty. So give thanks for such information, my Lord. And I do hand over the photo and Priest Jermaine, my Lord.
Blessed love, Honorable Holy Emmanuel, Selassie Jah, Rastafari, give thanks to life once more and the mighty life giver. Thanks for all good things, said and done by the Honorable Prophet Jassi. And I here to highlight the movements, of the EABIC and the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards and his, his input to the liberation of I people as a group, from the Caribbean, you know, um, Rasta in itself, as we know, rise up from the onset in 1930, and through the prophecy of him, they said Marcus Messiah Garvey, where he put on a play in 1928, making reference to the king and his coronation, the rise of Rasta in Jamaica, took hold. In our records, we know of, Prince Emmanuel being, around from the year of 1914, which is documented. And around that time, when he was, incarnated, was, the time when Emperor Menelik II was leaving off of the scene, as a emperor in Ethiopia. So it was like the ushering or the changing of a guard, so to speak, It in the movements of the Right Honorable, King Emmanuel Charles Edward, there's, some mystery surrounding his birth, but we all know that, to be on this plate, you have to born from a woman and through the loins of a man. So that is, no question, and, he rose up in prominence, like I say, in the 1930s, when Rasta rise, King Emmanuel was amongst the ones, doing such work, as a man same way who was a part of the UNIA, in the Jamaica branch. It said that King Emmanuel, was a flag bearer at one point, for the UNIA. So we give thanks, for all the contributions that the man made, the EABIC, coming to its, official formation on the 1st of March, 1950 and 8. And we all know what, took place, leading up to such, you know what I mean? With the beating and stuff like that, and, crucifixions, same way of King Emmanuel around that same time when the conference was held, the first ever Nyabingi conference was held. King Emmanuel is also a man, on record for being the first Rasta man to ever write the Queen of England, such letters of repatriation and reparation, re-repatriation and reparation for its people, out of, Jamaica, Egypt, and all other small islands, and even the Western Hemisphere where our people was in bondage mentally through neo-colonialism and physically through the lack of finance due to, our incarceration here, what they call slavery. So we give thanks that King Emmanuel rose, like I say, in that time, because like I always say to ones and ones, like, yes, the king is in Ethiopia, but you have to have some sort of a, interpreter or mediator between God and man, and we down here, learning the slave master's tongue, it was only right for, God himself to come down in the dust with us, and speak the same tongue that we speak in so that we could understand, the rights and wrongs of how we should be as a people, being like how we was taken away from it. It was, being retaught to us. Now, the spiritual aspect is what King Emmanuel, also focused on as well, through the churchical order, where he rose, 7 priests, was a tabernacle with 4 corners, guards. He also, rose the Woman Freedom Liberation League, all of these different aspects, that he came and actually did for his people. Now, King Emmanuel works, sometimes just go unmerited, and enough credence don't really be given to this individual, because of some of the things that have been said about him in the past, and some of the things that were misunderstood about King Emmanuel, but we, the people who actually see, King Emmanuel or God through his flesh, taught us also that we are gods and goddesses. He rose I and I meditation to that level where we could understand that, we ourselves have that spiritual essence of God in us, which qualify and I to be God and goddess. Because like it said, two type of people in the earth. Which one are you? Satan and God. There's only two type of people. So you either have to be a Satan or a God. So which one? So that was the realization that King Emmanuel brought to us, to raise up that, that way how we looked upon ourselves, instead of looking down on ourselves, break us up and start to call, the little ones prince and princesses and the woman, empresses and queens and, stuff like that, to show them their work and show us our work. So we give thanks, that King Emmanuel could do such works, and, this time I would love to read, some, a portion of a letter that was written, by the Honorable King Emmanuel, taken from the Black Supremacy. Ones are familiar with this book of the Congress, and if one's in internet land who is not, therefore you can always get a copy of the Black Supremacy. It's like the EABIC Bible, so to speak. It's something that we all draw from time to time, and me myself will draw from page 16 of the Black Supremacy. Continuing reading. I wish you all Godspeed with justice. You could call upon the Secretary General for repatriation for the people, right, fundamental freedom. Everyone to find back their own vine and fig tree, calling upon the World Organization to look after the people, right, of justice. Most High, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. I, Prince Emmanuel, President, Founder, Leader of the United Nations Worldwide Organization, also African Organization, Unity, and OAU, send these few lines of human justice. I read your letter of what you have said of these international problems to be noted with attention for these words of right to come to negative and positive right of fundamental international justice for we, the poor and have-nots, to receive us out of brutality, shelterless, and all kinds of sufferation, through prophecy and history, to the General Assembly, to bring forth all these points of right with Africa Organization Unity, with transportation through the UN organization. Sir, you could all bring up these points of right, being the representative of the General Assembly, to urge the world heads to bring up R to the world of people. To R was the first word of right to human rights. A man that moved with X is wrong. R traveled with love for the world of people through Jesus Christ and the world of righteousness, so show that man is God and God is man in flesh. He walked and he talked as any man. When you see a universal word, such showing salvation in the volume of St. John, Apostles 4, please read with understanding. X-World show and prove it is a world of colonialism and imperialism. The Lord's servants speak these rights and stand for equal rights and justice as freedom fighters. Africa must be free to take in his subjects in fundamental rights of equal justice. Africa is for those at home and us abroad. Negus Christ is the poor man's friend. Come one, come all, let us make a fundamental union of freedom with our Lord Jesus Christ. Set our heart door widely open towards black figure of worldwide black supremacy with celestial structures of holiness of his holy temple. Revelation 18, on his thigh is written, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Revelation 18 show the doom of the white world. In 1 hour, their judgment is now and now, said the black Christ. Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. The black Ethiopian children that scatter must look to come out of Babylon. Come out of her, my people, and let us go back to our first birth of righteousness with such wonderful love. First creation, love of reincarnation as a baby on breast. Concerning seminar on the 26th of April, 1967, I would like to know if the UN Assembly is not for the cause of such right of international repatriation assembly. The world is looking to the United Nations for equal justice, freedom, and peace to the international world. I am looking to the UN for such problems that face the world now. I, Lord's servant, say everyone to find back their own vine and fig tree, or nationality, Black Africa, where you all take us from. The UN could solve the worldwide problems for we the poor being the representative who stands for the Universal Declaration of Human Rights Charter that brings forth equality and justice. Calling upon you now to give it up. You brought us here as slaves. You could come and free us also. Your ministers pay no attention to your words. Send transportation, the Black Star Liner. Give the people their birthright. I would like this international matter to come to one conclusion with this seminar for right and justice for our freedom. Goes for those at home and for us abroad with equal justice for our right on the United Nations Charter of Civil Rights to do this international work for the benefit of we, the suffering sons and daughters of King David. Closing with Isaiah 43:9. We, the African people in Jamaica and the diaspora, Kingston Pen, here you pass through, where you pass through. I would like to say I am here defending the Ethiopia Africa International Congress in Bull Bay, British West Indies, for freedom, equality, and justice. I am calling upon you now for justice to leave out of your international law for all African descendants to their charter. I would like these law to deal this year throughout the globe with this world through the ground of Black dynasty, race, color, creed. I am asking you kindly if the Ethiopia Africa International Congress is registered in your office. If not, I am asking you to do so that your sister and brother could be justified out of such government, parliament, assembly. All correspondence to reach this head office in Bull Bay, Jamaica. I know you will do such, being a man of justice of law for the suffering people upon this earth. I am calling upon you to call upon all African heads of government of all states to give us some recognition of our redemption, of our repatriation governmentally. We the people need some help out of your high office that we in Jamaica could be justified for our good work also from all heads of states and all international free states of Africa, our nationality, our first birth. We are willing to cooperate in one unity of strength to both Africa, Father Africa, and Mother Africa in the world of full righteousness. In the heart of strength, I would like you to handle this problem jointly for justice of human rights for all people in West Indies colony. We in Jamaica want this ruling power forced to act upon in Jamaican Parliament with former government, also acting Prime Minister and all ministers of Parliament. I am waiting upon you all to start this. All captives are to be set free from all bondage on the United Nations Charter of Declaration of Human Rights, principle of civil rights law, of rights of justice on the Black dynasty, Black supremacy in righteous law, said his people must be free in justice of freedom from all segregation law. Segregation law must break down for we the people in Jamaica go for the prisoners in the law of right. Every man is free to claim their nationality with free transport out of your office, that we could be justified out of your cabinet. This Congress holds no representative. I am the representative and founder leader president. I am looking for freedom of movement, freedom of traveling out of the Congress from 1965 on the United Nations Charter. Free man on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Civil Rights Bill of Right, Equality and Justice for us the people. Ethiopia Africa International Congress in Jamaica, the Lord's servant who stand to represent the people return to Black Africa. Black Ethiopia in this African Congress in Jamaica, over land and seas universally, in Jamaica for those at home and us abroad in universal government. Close with peace and love, also 7 words of love. Ezekiel 7, Revelation 9. On Her Majesty's service, official free Minister of Home Affairs, Kingston 9, February 1963. The Ministry of Home Affairs present his compliment and has the honor to acknowledge the receipt of the communication noted below. I have received a deportation card from out of such office, dated the 6th February 1965. I, the Lord's servant, would like to get a date that we could leave out of this country. This international year of crisis, we the people could find back our own vine and fig tree. All captives must be set free out of your land. I am waiting on you through the I am powers, for his people to be free. For you all have the people under your ruling power, also under your portfolio. You can contact Her Majesty the Queen for the Black Starliner to make a start this year out of your office in early day. If you all fear to do this, so I will cable to the I am, to dry up the rivers, also to send volcanoes, and to subdue the evil upon the earth in righteousness of salvation. This is the time of Moses and Pharaoh of old. Repatriation is what we want out of your office. Also upon your bed, I received acknowledgement card from your minister on the 19th of February, 1965. I would like a date, a fixed date, that we, the Black descendants, could take our international departure out of all British West Indies. I know it is you and Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, also King Charles, are responsible. Also, Governor General, you could contact opposition also and all representatives of Africa, Nigeria to come for their people. If this is not so, then God and history record man's judgment upon this earth. The Lord God of hosts appeal. I, the Lord's servant, would like to know if some are flesh and some are bone. You all could deal with the bones now and have not. My policy is peace and love. Also international repatriation governmentally. The Governor General said it is the Prime Minister who is responsible for our repatriation. I, the Lord's servant, looking for you all to tackle this problem now. And being you are the head, you can contact your acting Prime Minister. I would like to have a talk with you that a date could be fixed. I am like any other international man that could come to this country, I do not take part in your government of government. I take part in redemption of Africa. A date must be fixed out of all international office. It must be done this year for suffering masses of this country and countries, Jamaica, West Indies, and all British countries. This affiliate with all Congress in Bull Bay with Exodus chapter 7, also Psalm 68, from the Lord's servant in Bull Bay. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari I. Now as we see, like the man said, there is nothing new under the sun. And as we still here awaiting those words to be fulfilled, and for those things to come up from the government heads that know of such. Certain documents have been hidden by certain prime ministers of Jamaica. Certain things about King Emmanuel was not told to Black people in general. Also about him, even receiving the what they give out every year, to ones and ones, that peace, that thing that they give out to people for peace keeping, every year. King Emmanuel was up for that, and they never gave it to him. They took it from him and gave it to someone else. So we here still, through the Black Christ, as his people, we are still calling for these words by the Black Christ to be fulfilled. My Lord and Empress, give thanks for such. Give thanks to him for listening. And at this time, I shall turn the floor back over to the Honorable Co-host, Honorable Prophet Jack Clarky. My Lord, give thanks. My Lord and Empress, blessed Lord.
Blessed love, my Lord, give thanks and glorify.
Blessed love to your family, my Lord, and Empress, and I glorify all information, the honorable, family. Give thanks for another moment here. In the name of His Imperial Majesty, Most High, Celestial, Rastafari. Yeah. So, give thanks for strength and power, at this moment. Give thanks, for information, brought forward by the Honorable Angel, from the Marcus Garvey movement to the UNIA, the Universal Negro Improvement Association to improve the Black African nation, to such information on Ethiopia, Africa, Black International Congress, Church of Divine Salvation, give thanks again for the Black nation, and we enter into the segment of the OAU, which is the Organization of Africa Unity. Now, before family and to the viewers of the YouTube, I like to bring forth, at this moment, the base of the OAU. This government was formed on May the 25th, 1963 in Addis Ababa, on signature of the OAU, which is the charter by the representatives of 32 governments. Now, this organization, the base and the model of this organization is the purpose to eradicate colonialism, to eradicate slavery, to eradicate these things, apartheidism, at that time out of Africa, which is basically colonial ruling. Now, if we go back past history, we will see that apartheid history has taught us about scramble for Africa, which is in the 18th to the 19th century, you see where Belgium, France, Great Britain, all these other nations was entering into Africa and trying to colonialize it. So the Organization of Africa of Unity eradicated such methods by even now forming this organization with Selassie, with the Casablanca section, which this included Milton Obote, of Uganda. It included Jomo Kenyatta of Kenya, also Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, also Kenneth Kaunda of Zambia, Julius Nyerere of Tanzania, William Tubman of Liberia, Huston Banden of Malawi, and also Sekou Toure of Guinea, and Haile Selassie of Ethiopia at the forefront of the Casablanca section. Now, I would just like to bring forth again a reading here, into such works. Now, in South Africa, or we go say at that time, we see apartheidism was being implemented. If we go back to history, we see here where Africans now, by virtue of culture, have in the past lived in unity. The independent nature of the African communal system emanated from the fact that every person has a moral right and obligation to what abounds in the land. Through this now, it created a framework for communal interdependent living for succeeding generations. Africa, having been the victim of invasions and conquests over centuries, as we see, of which I know the reason, by those in search of wealth and dominion, has had its landscape altered. The level of change has been so intense that it has permeated all aspects of life, including spirituality, politics, and even economics. So today, as we speak right now, these forces whose main aim is to keep us apart from the purpose of control are still at work, looking for new and subtle ways to divide us. So, my Lord, stay strong in the fight for the freedom of Africa. We give thanks to the Black liberators. We give thanks for the freedom fighters from that time. Man like Cujo, who the world, I don't know if they remember, as a liberator from the time of the Maroons to Marcus to all these liberators fighting for the freedom of Africa from white colonialism and white rule. We give thanks to the Organization of African Unity at this time to form such union as His Majesty being the centerfold to bring forth such thing. Most High, Selassie I, Jah. So the OAU, as I continue and read here, is to promote the unity and the solidarity of African states, coordinated and intensify their cooperation and efforts to achieve a better life for the people of Africa. Two, to defend their sovereignty, territorial integrity, and independence. Three, to eradicate all forms of colonialism from Africa. Four, promote international cooperation given due regard to the Charter of the United Nations and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And last but not least, to coordinate and harmonize members' political, diplomatic, economic, educational, cultural, health, welfare, scientific, technical, and defense policies. So give thanks for such organization, and acts by the mighty liberators. I don't want to take up too much time because it's up for other people to speak on the program. So my Lord and all Empress, give thanks for the moment in the name of the Most Right, King Emmanuel, Charles Edward, Most High, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. we'll hand over the floor to our Empress Cindy. My Lord and
Bless the love, my Lord, co-host. I would like to say for the UNIA Black Nurses speak, then Empress Cindy will speak. I love to say a little chorus, just 2 lines to seal up UNIA Liberator Marcus Messiah Garvey, the liberator of the EABIC King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, and the liberator of the OAU, Empress Selassie Jah Rastafari. The next segment will be Empress Lily, UNIA Black Cross Nurses. Then it will be Empress Cindy, Ethiopia Woman World Association. Then it will be Women's Freedom Liberation League. Then it will be the OAU, again spoken by Empress Rachel. So to seal up the first 3 speakers, I would like to sing a little chorus, just a few lines, and then I'll go into my presentation without any introduction because I have spoken already after I sung my hymn. So I would say, use me, Lord. Use me for thy glory. Use me, Lord, that I might tell thy story. I will obey, for there's no other way. Use me, use me, use me, use me, Lord. In China, holy Mount Zion, 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 Lord. Holy Mount Zion, Zion. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah Rastafari. Continuing now with the UNIA presentation of the woman's arm of this African Liberation Day celebration. I will speak on the UNIA Black Cross Nurses, taken from Woman in the Garvey Movement, written by our beloved sister, a liberator in herself, Nzinga Asata. Most High, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Empress Amy Jakes Garvey, Selassie Jah Rastafari, quoting from the writings of our liberator sister, Nzinga Asata. What about woman in the Garvey movement? Question. UNIA's philosophy encourage and promote the advancement of women, and whilst there is evidence from some of the writings of Mrs. Amy Jakes Garvey, quote, Garvey and the Garveyism, unquote, that the organization was not perfect. We nonetheless must recognize its progressive stance on women's equality at a time when women's rights were very low on most people's agenda. See essay on women in the Garvey movements by Professor Tony Martin in, quote, Garvey, his work and impact, unquote, 1987. Women from diverse backgrounds participated in the organization's programs. Members were able to develop literary skills, artistic skills, and to organize and run small businesses, as well as to develop self-reliance and independence. Another aim was to bring about unity of African people on a global scale. The philosophy of the movement encouraged African women to be active at all levels. If we look at Mr. Garvey's writing and his speeches, we can see that this was not just empty rhetoric. During one of his speeches at Carnegie Hall, Mr. Garvey stated, quote, Mr. Garvey stated that, quote, we say that the time for African women to leave the kitchen is now, unquote. As a result of this philosophy, words were transmitted into action, and women were appointed to all levels within the organization. There is evidence that women formed almost half of the organization's executive. Nearly all divisions had a female secretary, and there were a number of lady presidents. Women were able to develop their skills in public speaking, organizing, and implementing community activities. In addition to all of the activities already mentioned in which the women were involved, there were also groups responsible for youth, for man, and for military action. One of the most powerful organization and one of the most powerful of these groups were the Black Cross Nurses. It was a woman's only organization, and it is reported that in 1920, its membership was 10 miles long. The Black Cross Nurses contributed to the talent pool of the organization by being active in all of its activities. They also staged plays and events which promoted race pride. The juvenile Black Cross Nurses were also contributors to cultural events. The Universal Negro Motor Corps was a female military group. The women had military training and were prepared to fight in the same way that man was trained to fight. For those of you who do not know this, the organization also produced its own newspaper called, quote, Negro World, unquote. Including in this was the Woman's Page, edited by Honorable Empress Amy Jakes Garvey. Mrs. Garvey ensured that the Woman's Page valued women's intellectual ability and examined their contribution to Black liberation and other relevant matters. Mrs. Garvey titled the topics featured in the Woman's Page, quote, a woman and what they think, unquote. She particularly wanted Black women to develop critical analytical skills and to give opinions on issues affecting the world and our people. Most High, Amy Jakes Garvey, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, give thanks to the prophet and the prophetess, the Most High God. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. That's my contribution to the UNIA Black Cross Nurses. And if I would like to say, if anyone who been on the hill or have any idea of the hill, from 9 miles, 10 miles, Bull Bay to Kingston, Jamaica is a very long stretch. And imagine the Black Cross Nurses membership was 10 miles long. We give thanks for the Black Cross Nurses and give thanks for all liberators and give thanks and glorify for all who's present and continue to listen and pray for us that we can spread your word, and happy celebration to one and all. Most High, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Blessed love host, take it over, please. Give thanks and glorify.
Blessed love again to the royal family. I love to the thankful such presentation from the royal God. And we have Royal Empress Cindy here, my Lord and all Empress, Prince and Princess. Both right.
Holy Marcus I, Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Give thanks one and all to listening today for the African Liberation Celebration. Give thanks to the hosts and give thanks to everyone tuning in. I'm Empress Cindy, and I'm going to be reading today. So on Saturday, December 19th, 1939, on the occasion of the 25th anniversary of the Ethiopian Women's Welfare Association at Jahoy Mita, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I officially opened the festival. In his speech, he says, and I quote, "We are happy to witness that the Women's Welfare Association has reached this important event of celebrating its 25th anniversary. This association has, since its creation during the war, rendered many social services. This association has, since this, pardon me, this association has, since its creation during the war, rendered many social services. This is not the first time that Ethiopian women have served their country and their emperor side by side with their manfolk, as history can vouchsafe this well-known fact. We are satisfied with the ability that Ethiopian women have shown in our new educational progress. Not only is it our desire that in the future women should not have less chance than men, but it is also our intention to encourage them to make equal contributions by participating with their manfolk in the various projects for the development of their country. It is our hope that this Women's Association, established under the patronage and guidance of Her Majesty, the Empress, will continue to prosper and increase the number of its followers by inspiring them with its good example. We will not fail to mention on this occasion the last Princess Tashi and Lady Barton, who had dedicated their efforts for the founding of the association. Nothing gives us greater happiness than having founded the development programs and seeing that man and his woman are now equally benefiting from the projects which was initiated for all Ethiopia. And now I would like to share a poem by the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, written on February 28th, 1927. It's called The Black Woman. Black Queen of Beauty, thou hast given color to the world. Among other women, thou art royal and the fairest. Like the brightest of jewels in the regal diadem, shinest thou, goddess of Africa, nature's purest emblem. Black men worship at thy virginal shrine of truest love, because in thine eyes are virtue's steady and holy mark, as we see in no other cloth than silk or fine linen, from ancient Venus, the goddess, to the mythical Helen. When Africa stood at the head of the elder nations, the gods used to travel from foreign lands to look at thee. On couch of costly Eastern materials, all perfumed, recline thee, as in thy path flowers were strewn, sweetest that bloom. The transcendent, marvelous beauty made the whole world mad, bringing Solomon to tears as he viewed thy comeliness. Anthony and the elder Caesars wept at thy holy feet, preferring death than to leave thy presence, their foes to meet. You, in all ages, have attracted the adoring world and caused many a bloody banner to be unfurled. You have sat upon exalted and lofty eminence to see a world fight in your ancient Africa defense. Today, you have been dethroned through the weakness of your man, while in frenzy those who of yore craved your smiles and in your hand. Those who were all monsters and could not with love approach you have insulted your pride and now attack your good virtue. Because of this union, you became mother of the world, giving tinge of robust color to 5 continents, making a greater world of millions of colored races, whose claim to beauty is reflected through our Black faces. From the handsome Indian to European brunette, there is a claim for that credit of their sunny beauty that no one can err to take from thee, O queen of all women, who have borne trials and troubles and racial burden. Once more we shall in Africa fight and conquer for you, restoring the pearly crown that proud Queen Sheba did wear. Yeah, it may mean blood, it may mean death, but we still shall fight, bearing our banners to victory, man of Africa's might. Superior angels look like you in Zion above. For thou art fairest queen of the seasons, queen of our love. No condition shall make us ever in life desert thee, sweet goddess of the evergreen land and placid blue sea. Give thanks, my Lord and Empress, and heart of celebration. Blessed love.
What love to you, Goddess. Give thanks for informative.
I would like to give the floor to the Honorable Jack Clarkey, my Lord and Empress. Give thanks.
Yes, give thanks to you, Goddess, all powers and strength. Yes, we bring forth and on the platform and on the Empress the reason about the league. Mama, Empress.
Blessed love, my Lord. Blessed love. I was texting to my co-presenters, Father and I. Happy Liberation Day. Celebration coming up on Thursday. We are celebrating from today, straight through till Sabbath. I give thanks for each and every one, and I give thanks for all the presenters. So informative and glorious. I know my father sitting up in Zion, my fathers, Prophet Priest and King, and Empresses sitting up in Zion, in the rainbow circle throne on high and listening to us. They are children and enjoying our presentation, keeping the great liberators alive. Most High, John Marcus Messiah Garvey, last time, in 1980, His Majesty King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, our President, God and King, formed the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress Women's Freedom Liberation League. And he appointed Honorable Empress Esther Constant Harris as the leading empress of the league. And he had other leading empresses also. Empress Miriam, who is present with us here, as also a leading empress. He also appointed other leading empresses who didn't stand up like these two mighty lionesses. His Majesty King Emmanuel Charles Edwards also appointed secretaries at the time too. I was one. I am one, you know. And I do my work unofficially. You know, everywhere I go to Bahamas, and now I'm in Ethiopia, and I used to carry on with the works of King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. Because when he was leaving, he called everyone and gave everyone personal instructions and commandments that what he wanted to do. And one of the commandments that he gave me, Sister Lily, is that anywhere I go, I represent the Congress. Through I am a humble lioness, I decided that I would continue Women's Freedom Liberation League works anywhere I go in the world. So that's why I am praising His Majesty right now on African Liberation Day with all my brothers and sisters for wings of earth. The League principles is the 21 days principle is to be kept holy. By keeping it, the Sabbath is to be kept holy also. And we as women adhere to the principles of Empress Menen, who is a perfect example. Even Empress Amy J. Garvey, the prophetess. You know, a lot of people don't glorify her or even recognize her as the greatness that she did for the UNIA. You know, because she had to be a virtuous woman, and Marcus Garvey to take her as his queen. You know, and if we even study the UNIA, you can see, you know, her great works. So we are here as daughters, you know, to make these women, Honorable Empress Menen voice be heard, and Honorable Empress Amy J. Garvey works to be heard for the great works that they have done. Now, if we don't keep them alive, who will? We are their daughters, walking in their footsteps, you know, and the generations to come of daughters will see how we love them and glorify them and continue the works. The Women Freedom Liberation League, we give thanks for this woman's arm that King Emmanuel Charles Edwards has established to give us a voice. And all women, not just the leading empresses and the secretaries, you know, must make their voice be heard. Because King Emmanuel Charles Edwards even gave Empress Patrona a voice, you know, to speak, you know, his words. I have heard it that ones and ones would say that Empress Patrona did not see the king, you know, or sit with him like how we, the first set of empresses, you know, would sit with His Majesty. But Empress Patrona is an empress on the foundation that never went into house. Understand me? And that was to her advantage because she would go to Psalms reading every day, you know, because on my 7 days of Psalms reading, me and her would buck up on the Psalms reading line, singing and chanting and listening to the Psalms. And our greatest joy was to hear the words from King Emmanuel Charles Edward that he would send the priest that carried up the Psalms reading. So Empress Patrona would be saying, His Majesty say this and Her Majesty say that. She's blessed because she would hear the word of His Majesty every day on the Psalms reading line. I would only hear it 7 days. That's why she have a lot of information. And although she never sit with His Majesty or minister with His Majesty round his palace like we, the empresses did, you know, before His Majesty blocked off his presence from everyone, not only those who did minister to him personally would be able to see him unless he called you, you know. So I'd like to make that clear on this African Liberation Day, that, you know, we would listen to what Empress Patrona is saying, because she was at Psalms reading 24/7. So she have a lot to say. That's why His Majesty gave her voice of woman as a liberator also. So I would make it too long because we have the poem section coming up, and I love to hear my sisters. Sister Dion would open up and Sister Kim would open up. And everyone knows say that the Empress Freedom Liberation League, you know, it's like the Black Cross Nexus, you know, and you know, Empress League, Empress Men and Ethiopia Woman World Association, you know. So sisters, just continue doing the liberation work. Thanks to Empress Rachel also, you know, Honorable Prophet Clark, Empress. She'll be presenting next, and then Empress Dion and Empress Kim would come in with their poems. And after that, the floor will be opening, and I'll ask Honorable Prophet Benton, Garvey par excellence, to give a speech on the works of UNIA, and then the floor will be open for anyone who want to say a few words, and then Honorable Priest Jermaine will seal up with the closing hymn and the prayer. And we give thanks for the host. I don't know if he's coming in because he's very busy, but we'd love to hear a few words from him also. So Honorable Prophet Clark, give thanks for Empress Menon, give thanks for Empress Amy Jakes Garvey, prophetess. I give thanks for each and every one, and give thanks for the Blessed Trinity, Most High, Empress Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Empress Rachel, could you please? Blessed love.
A blessed night to the royal family, Holy Marcus High, Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Give thanks to all knowledge and light moving forward. Give thanks to the power, the Holy Trinity. Give thanks Honorable Jah Sikh, Priest German, Jah Clarky, Empress Lily May, Empress Cindy, and Empress Lily May again for all knowledge which was shed. I like to seal up with a little reading from the Honorable Haile Selassie to the Parliament in Jamaica. The people of Jamaica, by and large, have originated in Africa. This gives us another basic upon which we can contract a healthy relationship because of the fundamental similarities between us that will, in the long run, contribute to a better maintenance of international peace and security. The Organization of African Unity is an organization which the people of our vast continent have established with a view of performing certain specific tasks. Briefly speaking, the organization is established for the purpose of protecting in a better fashion the independence of African states. It is also meant to expedite the economic and social progress through cooperation of African peoples. It also has the important task of assisting in the maintenance of international peace and security in accordance with the Charter of the Organization of African Unity. We eradicate colonization and apprehend. Holy Marcus, Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Give thanks for the organization. Give thanks to the celebration moving through. Give thanks for love and light to the power of the Holy Trinity. Jah Rastafari. Knowledge is night. Love, 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 family. Holy Marcasa, Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah Rastafari.
We mark aside. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you give thanks for words, right? And I do hand over the floor to the Royal Empress. Yes, Empress Cindy. Give thanks for strength, and we hand over the floor to Empress Gina. My Lord. Pardon me. Heart I love you.
Blessed at a celebration, my Lord and Empress, all YouTube family, all loved ones. Holy Marcusai, Holy Emmanuel, last year, Jah Rastafari, give thanks for the African Liberation celebration on the 25th of May, 1963, 60 years of strength and powers moving through. I will be reading 2 hymns written by the Honorable Prophet Marcus Messiah Garvey. Holy Marcusai, Selassie, Jah Rastafari. The Battle Hymn of Africa. Africa's sun is shining above the horizon clear. The day for us is rising, for Black man far and near. Our God is in the front line, the heavenly battalion leads. Onward, make your banner shine, ye man of noble deeds. There's a flag we love so well, the red, the black, and green. Greatest emblems tongue can tell, the brightest ever seen. When pandemonium breaks, the earth will tremble fast. No oceans, seas, nor lakes shall save the first or last. Our suffering has been long, our cries to God ascending. We have counted every wrong which calls for an amending. So into battle let us go with the cross before. The angels great from high to low, watch forevermore. We see the enemy scatter and watch their ranks divide. With God there is no fetter, for whom he doth provide. All God's children in trouble or burdened down with care, no matter where, how humble, his love is ever there. So cheerful, let our courage be, and rally for the King. Our Savior, Christ the Lord, is he who angels tidings bring. O Africa victorious, see the foe goes down. The Christ and Simon lead us to wear the triumphant crown. Negus remembers daily the sacrifice with the cross, so raise those banners gladly, never to suffer loss. And so the war is ending, the victor's palm is ours. Crushed neath a sorry bending, like dead fallen flowers. Thus lay the proud man of the day, or lost forever, where the demons never say to God, we'll deliver. Holy Marcusai, Selassie, Jah Rastafari. And a short one is called The Fall of Slavery, for the benefit of Emperor Haile Selassie and Benito Mussolini. The man who holds a slave and laughs at ease is devil with a heart of hardest stone. The man who also lives with pride to tease, humanity should oft be left alone. All men shall have the freedom of all rights, for nature made no sovereign but the soul. And all should look towards the glorious heights to seek the sweet enjoyment of the whole. When selfish creatures void of love for man inflicts his will upon the helpless weak, all else should spurn him as they can to force him from the sovereign evil peak. The thoughtful man who loves his brothers well is king to keep upon an earthly throne. But slavers all should go right down to hell to sleep upon the slabs of burning stone. The precious life of man demands a will to fight to hold the trust of his defense. Though tyrants would all manly freedom kill, true knights of love should guard the human fence. Let's set the human standard high for all and see that pompous kings and lords obey. And when they fail through sin, proclaim their fall and hasten in for all the freedman's day. Written in 1937 by our Honorable Prophet Marcus Messiah Garvey, Holy John Marcus I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Give thanks for all words of right and all loved ones here tonight. Holy Marcus I, Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari, blessed love, my Lord and Empresses. Handing over the floor to our host, Honorable Jack Lackey.
All the love to the family. Thanks for all information and all beautiful poem from the goddess. Hope you enjoyed. It was enjoyed by me. Right. We do hand over the floor to Royal Empress Kim, Royalty Freedom.
Oh, bless the love, my Lord and Empress. Give thanks for such wonderful celebration going through. Give thanks for the Africa Liberation Day celebration going through. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari, John Marcus I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. And I do give thanks, my Lord and Empress, to be here. It's a great pleasure, you know, most edifying. And it's always wonderful to hear my brothers and sisters, you know, the Most High, King Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. I'll just be reading a poem from the Most Honorable Marcus Garvey High, written on October the 29th, 1927, called Have Faith in Self. Today, I made myself in life anew by going to that royal fount of truth and searching for the secrets of the few whose goal in life and aim is joy forsooth. I found at least the friend and counselor that taught me all that I in life should know. It is the soul, the sovereign chancellor, the guide and keeper of the good you sow. I am advised, go ye, have faith in self, and seek once more the guide that lives in you, much better than the world or sordid pelf. Alas, I found the counsel to be true. Aha, I know right now that I shall see the good in life and be a better man. I will by thought and deed pull all to me in saving others, yea, everyone. Go down and search yourself a while in part, and tell me all of what you see and hear. Isn't there something pulling at your heart? Tell me the truth, and have ye then no fear. There is a voice that speaks to man within. It is the soul that longs for you to know. There is no need for you to grope in sin, for you in truth and light may ever grow. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, John Marcus, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Give thanks, my Lord and Empress. It's again a wonderful pleasure to be here, my Lord and Empress. Give thanks, Empress Lily. Give thanks, Empress Maisie. Give thanks, all the brethren and sisters. Most wonderful. Give thanks. Bless the Lord.
Give thanks, Honorable, for contributing. Honorable Prophet Clark Benton is next. Please.
Well, family, yes, give thanks again. My Lord, I bring forth the Honorable Jabenton. My Lord, freedom, floor is yours, Honorable. My Lord, Honorable Jabenton. Floor is yours, my Lord.
Yeah, blessed. He might be away from his phone or something. If the item don't mind, I would speak in his stead, and then when he comes forward, you know. Oh, there he is.
Pardon, my Lord. Bless the Lord.
That's it.
Bless the Lord, family. Give thanks, heart of celebration to one and all. Thanks for all said and done so far. Enjoying the program. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. Just want to touch on not necessarily the UNIA thing. Y'all did an excellent job of covering that already, but just focusing on what is African liberation. As we say, we celebrate African Liberation Day. Conceptualize African liberation in the 21st century. Seeing that when we look on, as we was going through the OAU and the reasons and the mission at OAU, and seeing that that mission has been succeeded with the ending of apartheid and then a minority rule within Africa politically. And we see a transformation into a greater unity, looking beyond into the African Union, which seeks to build upon Garvey's work of creating a United States of Africa. And for us to be able to do that, we have to be able to be included, we have to be enfranchised, but we also have to look at what is the primary field of liberation when we say African liberation in the 21st century, and that would be in the economic sense. Because wherever we are, as a majority, we are politically free, socially free within African states and to the Caribbean, more or less to a greater extent. But when we check stock, our struggle is one of economics, becoming the economic giant and empire that will give us the respect that we need to address the rights, our rights, and redress the wrongs committed. So I just implore us all to really take this time this season of liberation to meditate and focus on what is liberation when we speak of this African liberation in the 21st century, Let's give thanks to one and all, near and far, but keep it short and sweet. I dip on some work right now, and I just continue listening to the program, but out of celebration to one and all.
Bless the love, my Lord. Give thanks and glorify for contribution. Bless the love, Jack Clark, Prophet Daniel, if you could say a few words, please.
Yes, Mama. So I just bring in the Honorable Prophet, my Lord, and Empress, freedom to enjoy.
Yes, my Lord and Empress, give thanks for life and the life giver, Black Christ in flesh, King Emmanuel VII, UNIA, God, Jah, Rastafari, And give thanks for all gods and goddesses, all freedom fighters, all warriors and warriorettes, because, at this time, looking at our situation as Black people, I would say we still have a long way to go. We've come a long way, but we still have a long, long way to go when it comes to the continent of Africa and African people to be like liberated, Yeah, because we even sometimes you don't even realize people don't realize how enslaved they are, because like if a fish is born in a tank, it only knows life inside of that tank. It doesn't really know what it's like to live in a lake or the ocean, And that tank might be comfortable and they think that's all right, but that tank is captivity, And so our people born in here in the West, and even, in parts of Africa, and depending on government and all of these things, it's like Black people are very limited, we have opportunities, yes, but it's scarce, and when it comes to like rural areas, like which most of Africa is rural, countryside and vast land and things like that. So the people can't really access, proper education and running water and, things that technology has to offer, which, sometimes that's a good thing to be away from. But at the same time, in order for development to really happen, so that people can live in a comfortable way, and have the things that they need, yeah, people have to contribute, the people of the country have to build the country and develop it. So, I would say His Majesty gave us a mandate to organize and centralize as Rastafari. And we've done that. We've organized, we've centralized, we have our mansions and things like that. But we have, we have to kind of pick up things where they've been left off and really get forward on the liberation struggle, and the movement, because it kind of feels like we have gotten a little bit too comfortable here in this fish tank, the Western world, and the way we can do that is really through unity with a purpose, not just to be together, but to have something positive to do together. And everything that we do together should be, getting us closer to our goals in some way, shape, or form. So I would just say give thanks for this gathering that Honorable Empress Lily May was inspired to, organize. Give thanks for everyone who came on the platform tonight. Even though Honorable Jock Clark, he did a great job of hosting because I was unavailable for most of the night. But, he did a great job, and everyone did a great job at their part in speaking and reading and sharing. I learned quite a few things from listening in myself. So, yeah, just, in closing, I would just say, let us be focused and intentional with what we do, and everything that we do should be towards our freedom, redemption, and international repatriation, so that we, can move forward and really go and meet Empress Lily May in Ethiopia and be home and be happy, and not just to be home, but to actually be free and be empowered and be able to strengthen Africa and strengthen each other. That's really, to me, that's what it's all about, So I'll just leave it at that. Give thanks for the moment, and give thanks for everyone who, has spoken so far, and give thanks for those who are here and who haven't had a chance to speak, and give thanks for all those watching on YouTube and, wherever they may be listening in from. I just hope that it's inspiration for us to be like Marcus Garvey, to be like Haile Selassie, to be like King Emmanuel, and give our full, attention and all our energy towards freeing ourselves as Black people, first and foremost. King Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Yes, my Lord and Empress, I'll turn it over to the Honorable Host, Honorable Prophet Clocky, my Lord.
Give thanks, my Lord, Your Majesty. May I give thanks for all what's done and done. May I give thanks for inspiration and all good words are right. So, to your family and the viewers, joy once again, to learn again, these things, to bring back, such liberation, struggle from since that time until now. So, do hand over the floor to Empress Lady May, Royal Goddess, freedom.
Bless the love, my Lord. Give thanks for all presenters. Give thanks for the host, the royal host. Give thanks for the co-host. Honorable Priest Kareem would love to say a few words, my Lord, and then Honorable Priest Jermaine could sing the hymn. I think he said his precious memories and say a prayer. Then we'll just give thanks and glorify. It's 5:16 a.m. in Ethiopia. So, I want to go to my little morning devotion, ask that a cut and clear and make peace abide, So, Honorable Prophet Clark, I give thanks and glorify for your great works. I give thanks for Honorable Prophet Daniel, great works, and all the great liberators on this celebration here today. And when the big day coming out, just let us, meditate whole day and whole night, the glory and the goodness, the prophet, the priest, and the king and the empress.
Oh, give thanks to your Goddess to be an almighty
Yes, so
God. And
you'll turn it over
blessed
to
Honorable Jackery,
yes,
Lord.
and then we'll seal up with the hymn. Priest Jermaine will sing, and then he'll say a prayer, and we'll be on our different.
Jane.
Blessed love royal family. Yes. My Lord and Empress, I would love to say first of all, give thanks for the mighty life giver and the keeper life, the great orchestrator, the grand architect in all creation, who even put this moment together, that's the man who is the creator of all moments. So give thanks for the good moment, because it's joy in flesh. And the man say, "We serve the Lord with gladness and come before his throne. He's our great redeemer, he's our great creator, and he is God alone. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, my Lord and Empress. Give thanks for Honorable Empress Mama Lily May, for inviting me here, say me too, and putting this together because, it's days, from since like last week or so, last strong, the Empress showed me this was going to happen. So I give thanks that I couldn't be here, because I told I couldn't really make it, but I give thanks that I could be here at this moment amongst everyone. Give thanks for everyone, reading and sharing a word, Yeah, forgive strength forward unto I and I, because iron sharpen iron, and each one teach one. So we give thanks for who all come with the ride, Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, give thanks for all the honorable empress them, who say a word. We give thanks for all of them because, our mother of creation, and I reverence her and I mother of creation, and we see her, we see mama in our woman right, So, give thanks for Honorable Empress Lily May, give thanks for Honorable Empress Cindy, give thanks for Honorable Empress Rachel, give thanks for Honorable Empress Diane, give thanks for all the Honorable Empress them, we at this moment, and give us strength, who I say something before that I didn't get to hear, and everyone that I heard still, and even so anyone to forward, say me, give thanks for such love, you know, of our Black mothers, you know, and gives us strength that I and I, as man, have to love our Black mothers and reverence our Black mothers, you know, because as she go through it all, through the slave ship, with I and I same way too, even on the plantation, you know, she go through it all on the plantation with I and I same way too. So, you know, and I feel of our Black mother, our Black sister, our Black daughter, our Black wife, you know, our Black, you know, mother of creation. Empress Menen, King Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Yeah, give thanks for all prophet, give thanks for all priests, you know, give thanks for all king, same way too, you know. You know, give thanks for the holy and blessed Trinity, because this day, African Liberation Day, you know, the 25th of May, 1963, 60 years, you know, we give thanks that, you know, the prophet, the priest, and the king is who organized this. You see it because the UNIA and the OAU and the EABIC, you know, stand for the same thing, you know. You know, Africa for the Africans, those are two men also abroad, you know. So we give thanks for such day of African unity, you know, from such time, you know, African Liberation Day, you know, Mark I and I also Bobo Shanti, you know, our leader, you know, because we can say the king, you know, His Majesty's Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie farm this day, you know, to bring all Africans together, you know, in Africa and from the Caribbean and America and the Western world, you know. For I and I to be able to even come home, same way too, you know, as the Organization of African Unity, you know, the nations who are the free states of Africa who signed at that time, who signed, you know, to join in that, you know, in this movement, you know, that they would be together and that they could lobby I case same way too, you know, for freedom, redemption, international repatriation. And we see, you know, even in this time, the OAU was changed from the OAU to the AU, the African Union. Now, the African Union could seem as they are part of what we're doing. But the African Union was actually formed for usurp, you know, His Majesty movement, His Majesty goal, you know, because the African Union and the EU, the AU and the EU is actually one in the same, and it's just the vowel that change, you know. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. So we give thanks that, you know, we now forget the Organization of African Unity. And we now forget the UNIA, and, you know, long live the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress Church of True Divine Salvation, you know. Give thanks, you know, also for this moment and this day. And I would just like to read a little speech on His Majesty, you know, speaking on African freedom and racial equality, my Lord and Majesty. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. History serving as the guide to the future clearly demonstrate that there is no more useful instrument for the attainment of Ethiopia's high objectives than education. To see our unceasing efforts for the promotion of education, upon which depends the future of our country, achieving commendable results is for us a crowning joy. Time has demonstrated that those Africans who believe that the existence of an independent Ethiopia would open the door to freedom for all of Africa were not mistaken in their beliefs. The family of independent nations in Africa is today growing space, and no power on earth can now arrest this process. It would be an irremediable error, deserving of the condemnation of both history and our nation. He who would abuse the mysteries of Jah's creation and discriminate between man and man, whom Jah created equal, on the basis of color, race, or creed, calls down upon himself disaster and ruin. If were we to fail to seize upon this movement toward the achievement of independence and equality for all man, and to carry it successfully to its conclusion, he who would efface the sacred work of Almighty Jah, he who would abuse the mysteries of Jah's creation and discriminate between man and man, whom Jah created equal on the basis of color, race, or creed, calls down upon himself disaster and ruin. Let no one forget that Africans differ from no other people in the world. They love those that love them, dislike those by whom they are disliked, and are jealous guardians of their freedom. In these days of crisis, it behooves all nations desiring the preservation of peace in the world and the promotion of human welfare to unite their forces and to work together in a spirit of mutual trust and brotherly goodwill. The spirit of subversion, which, while long active in the world, had not manifested itself too obviously, has lately increased its activities both secretly and openly. When a nation is vanquished, it is not only due to direct aggression from without, but also through the instrumentality of a weak-spirited men within the nation who have been subverted by foreign influences. An Ethiopian must always be an Ethiopian, both in word and deed. The greatness of nations depends upon such a spirit of loyalty. We pray Almighty Jah, Jah Almighty may, in his boundless mercy, ever assist us in the great task which we have undertaken. Holy Emmanuel, King Selassie, Jah Rastafari. My Lord and Majesty, I give thanks again that I could read this, Give thanks for the reality of life, and we know what we are facing, and prophecy is fulfilling. And then I just have to give thanks and hold the faith and give thanks, and praises unto our God and King, and just do the work, serve God in flesh and blood and truth and right and justice and equality for one and all, and Jah will do the rest, We just have to do our part, So give thanks again, my Lord and Majesty, blessed love. I will turn over, to the host. Honorable.
Give thanks, Honorable Prophet Priest Kareem. Give thanks for coming. Blessed love.
Royal Empress, give thanks, Honorable Empress.
Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, give thanks to life and the mighty life giver. As we reach, to the commencement and closing hymn of this, the celebration, commemoration for the formation of the OAU. And I would first love to say, give thanks to all ones who came on board. Give thanks to all ones who participated. I don't want to run down the list of names and then forget any. So I'm just blessing all ones, from myself to my Empress and everyone, Empress Lily May, for putting, this together and calling us together to, give thanks for the OAU and the formation thereof. An African Liberation Day in itself that we commemorate as Rastafari, from year to year. So give thanks for such a spirit, that moving through the flesh. Even Empress Lily May, in particular, who is in Ethiopia at this time, and like I say, is harnessing that energy from the God and Goddess, Most High Selassie Jah. Rastafari. Continue with our closing hymn, taken from the Black Christ Salvation, hymn number 50-4. Precious memories, unseen angels, Most High Selassie Jah. Rastafari, we ask in any royal soul that do know the ear of this our hymn can freely rise. Those who do not can patiently listen, clap hands, and eventually join in on the song of sweet accord. Most High Selassie Jah. Rastafari, precious memories, unseen angels. Precious memories, unseen angels, sent from somewhere to my soul. They linger ever near me, and the secret past unfold. Precious precious Father, loving Mother, fly across the lonely years, and all home scenes of my childhood, in fond memories of pain. Precious memories of living love, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold. In the stillness of the midnight, echoes from my past I hear. Old time singing, gladness bringing from that lovely land somewhere. Precious memories of Belinda, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold. Mm, 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 Precious memories, oh, they linger, oh, never flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold. As I travel on life's pathway, know not what the years may hold. As I ponder, hope goes ponder. Precious memories flood my soul. Precious memories, oh, they linger, oh, they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold. Holy Mount Zion, 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 the Holy Mount Zion, Zion, Jehovah, Jah, Rastafari, united we stand, divided we fall. Give thanks for the organization of African unity. Give thanks to him for this day and the commemoration thereof. Give thanks for all hearts gathered together. Give thanks to him for the very giving of thanks. Most High, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, my Lord and Empress, we give thanks. Yet another blessed and holy blessed day. Give thanks to him for the hymn. Give thanks to him for the closing hymn thereof. Most High, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, my Lord and Empress, give thanks. At this time, I and I will love to say, give thanks to him for, that hymn, that closing hymn, that day, we usually go to the Black Christ for our closing hymn, and through the Black Christ in with us in flesh, but he is in flesh. That's the closing hymn that he gave to I and I, through word sound, So we give thanks to the intuition of God, between, God and man, Most High, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. At this time, I and I will close, with I and I closing Psalm, taking from Psalms 133, blessing and how good it does for us, brothers and sisters, to dwell together within one perfect unity. It's like the precious ointment that ran down upon the head of Aaron, upon the skirts of his garment, upon the beard of Aaron, upon the skirts of his garment. Go it unto Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Give thanks him for the Black Christ salvation at this hour. Give thanks him for the cutting and clearing, renting and tearing of gins and snails. Cut and clear of all gins and snails on Most High, make our night place faces clear and make our pathway straight before thy face most high. Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Blessed is the man walking not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standing in the ways of sinners, nor seated in the seat of the scornful. For his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law we shall not perish. But his blessings shall even continue to I and I through the day and night. The Most High, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Cut and clear mind. Give thanks, honorable.
Blessed at celebration, my Lord and Empress. Give thanks to Empress Lily May for putting such a wonderful program together once again. Love, love, oh love, love. Blessed love.
Blessed love, give thanks to each and every one. Glorify.
Blessed love, glorify and give thanks. Happy heart celebration to one and all. Yes, the liberation struggle continues. Most High, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari.
A few words. Glorify. Peace and love.
Blessed love, blessed love. Honorable Empress. Give thanks again for organizing this gathering and give thanks for the strength, Mama Lily May. Heart of celebration goes out again to one and all, you know. Your Majesty.
Out of love to the royal family.